Hi there, welcome. So, this has come up a few times in conversations with some of my students, and it's something I've been thinking about a lot because I don't know, I always felt like I'm not really doing my best when it comes to Instagram stories. So, a few weeks ago, I sat down and I came up with this plan. I decided, okay, I'm not going to do anything crazy. I don't want to be like those coaches who create like, I don't know, like really elaborate age slide sequences every day. Something manageable for me, but still that sells what I'm offering more consistently. And I package all that up into something brand new for you. It's called the Instagram Sales Kit for yoga teachers, and it's a $37 content kit with done for you templates. You get like 10 Instagram stories templates, AI prompts for carousels, for reels. We have a 30-day Instagram planner, so you always know what to post, the checklist, call to action list, everything you need to really sell your offers on Instagram. And you can get it when you go to my website, susannereiche.com, and then /sales kit. So check it out. And now let's go into the episode. Here's what I actually see yoga teachers doing on Instagram. And I want to be specific because I think you recognize yourself in at least one of these. The first pattern is posting and then disappearing. You share something, maybe a few things in a row, and then life gets busy, or you run out of ideas, or you just don't feel like it. And suddenly 3 weeks have gone by, or a month, or even longer. And then you come back and post again and wonder why nothing is gaining traction. Well, Instagram is a platform that rewards consistency over everything else. And inconsistency is probably the single most common thing I see holding yoga teachers back on social media. Not lack of talent, not the wrong niche, just the disappearing act. The second pattern is the flyer post. You know exactly what I mean. Like an image, usually some kind of background with the name of your workshop, the date, the price, maybe a little description. It looks like a poster, it looks like a flyer, like that back in the day you shared on notice walls and things like that. And I completely understand why yoga teachers do this because it feels like the obvious way to announce something. But here's the problem. Nobody wants to see that. Really, nobody wants to see that in their feed. It doesn't give your audience anything. It doesn't make them feel anything. And Instagram knows this. The algorithm will show it to some of your existing followers, like your warmest fans. Yes. So they might be interested in all the details about your next workshop, but it won't push it to new people. And even from your existing followers, probably only a small part is going to see it in their feed. And there's also going to be a part that simply just scrolls right past it. So you might get a handful of views from people who already know you, but you're not going to grow your account this way. And you're probably not going to sell out your workshop either. And here's the thing both of these patterns have in common. They're not really about Instagram, the platform, the algorithm at all. They're about not having a structure. And when you don't have a clear system for what to post and when, you either go quiet or you default to the easiest thing, which is the flyer. And then nothing happens, and you conclude that Instagram doesn't work for you. But it's not Instagram that isn't working. The honest answer, the thing I want you to really sit with, is that most of what yoga teachers post on Instagram is content, not selling. And those are not the same thing. Content builds an audience. Selling converts that audience into clients and students and customers. And you need both. And most yoga teachers are doing a lot of one and almost none of the other. Now, I want to be really clear here because I know the word selling can feel kind of loaded. I'm not talking about becoming some pushy salesperson who spams their followers every single day. That's not what this is. What I'm talking about is showing up consistently and giving people a real, clear, easy way to take the next step with you. That's it. That's all selling actually is. But most yoga teachers skip that part, and they skip it for really understandable reasons. The first reason is that selling feels uncomfortable. There's this belief, and I hear it constantly, that if you're a real yoga teacher, if you're truly in this for the right reason, you shouldn't have to sell. Your work should speak for itself. People should just find you and book with you. And I get it. That story, sounds like this beautiful fairy tale. And we are all wishing for that fairy marketing princess to come down and do everything for us. That's the same, right? The same belief that's just not going to happen. I want you to notice that this is the story that keeps you stuck, believing that. Because here's what actually happens when you never talk about your offers clearly anywhere on Instagram or in your emails. People follow you, they enjoy your content, and then when they want to take a yoga class or buy a course or join your program, they have no idea you even have one. Or they kind of vaguely know, but they've never seen a clear invitation. So if you posted about your upcoming workshop one time on Instagram, that's not enough. People need to see something at least 7 times, probably more often today because the attention spams is so low, like lower than a fruit fly these days. People need to see something again and again before they actually take action. Not because they don't want to work with you, but because they're just busy. Everybody's just so busy. There's so much noise. So tell them again and again. The second reason yoga teachers avoid selling on Instagram is that they genuinely don't know what to post. Not the wellness content, not the inspirational stuff. They've got that. But the sales content, the conversion content, the posts that actually move people toward buying something. That part feels like a mystery. And you don't learn that in yoga teacher training. And this is where I think the problem gets really specific because it's not just about mindset, it's also practical. Most yoga teachers have never been shown what sales content actually looks like in a yoga context. They know what it looks like when a big brand does it, or a yoga influencer, right? Or when a business coach does it, and it doesn't feel like them. So they just don't do it. So I know so many really talented, dedicated yoga teachers, and they stay invisible on Instagram and they're not selling anything on Instagram, not because they weren't working hard enough, but because they didn't have a structure in place for the part that actually leads to sales. So let's talk about that, right? Let's talk about what a simple, sustainable Instagram system actually looks like. And I want to be clear, this is not complicated. The reason most yoga teachers don't have this system isn't because it's hard to build one. It's because nobody has shown them a clear structure they can follow. So here's the one I recommend. 3 posts a week. Every single post ends with a clear call to action. That's the foundation. Now, for your feed post, there are really 2 formats worth focusing on. The first is carousels, and I genuinely love those. A carousel gives you space to develop an idea across multiple slides. So they can be images, they can be videos. I really like to have text on images, like the mini blog posts broken down into parts. So I use maybe 5, maybe 8 slides. I don't really worry about that. For me, it's more about, telling the story I want to tell. I don't care about the number of slides. And I put real substance right on the slide so people can follow along, even without sound. And I start with a strong first slide that makes someone want to keep swiping, a really strong hook. A great carousel topic for a yoga teacher, to give you an example, might be busting a myth your students believe. Something like you need to practice every day to see results. And then walking them through the truth slide by slide. And the last slide is your call to action. The second format is face to camera video. And I think this one is becoming more important than ever. especially right now when so much content is AI generated or feels polished and impersonal. There's something really powerful about showing up as a real human being and talking directly to your audience. So I try to do this at least once per week. Doesn't have to be long, 60 seconds or less is great. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be you. Now, the formats for these posts can vary. You can do a carousel, right? So, like I just explained, you can do face to camera. You could also do a video, a real video where you practice, or it's like some B roll with some text on top of it. Find what works for you, what's easy for you, what feels like aligned, and do more of that. But the content types that tend to convert well are things like myth busting posts, personal stories, quick tips, or student wins. These are the posts that do real work for your business. The key thing with every feed post is the call to action at the end, also in your captions. Not a vague, let me know what you think, or give me a like or something. An actual invitation. Comment flow below and I'll send you the link, or grab it through the link in my bio. It's $37 and you get instant access. If you're not asking people to do something specific at the end of every post, you are leaving sales on the table every single time. And then you have stories. This is where a lot of yoga teachers get confused, me too. So I want to be really clear about what stories are actually for. Stories are not normally shown to people who aren't following you. This is an important distinction. So your feed posts and your reels are how you grow and reach new people. Stories are how you sell to the people who are already there. So think of your story viewers as your warmest audience. They know you, they follow you, they're already interested. This is where you can be more direct about your offers. This is where you can share the information you might otherwise put on a flyer image, but in a format that actually works. And here's something I want to say to the yoga teachers who are just starting out and feel like there's no point posting stories because only a handful of people will see them. They disappear after 24 hours. And I agree. You don't want to put hours every day in stories if only 5 people see it and then they disappear. That doesn't make sense, right? But also, those handful of people, they are probably your perfect clients. So keep it simple. You don't need to do elaborate 8-slide story sequences like what some business coaches tell you. It doesn't make sense. Keep it simple. Have like 1 or 3 slides twice a week or maybe 3 times a week, and that's enough. And then you can also share some behind the scenes, some pictures of your dog, of your life, to connect with people as well. But don't shy away from selling in your stories, because this is really where you have the most potential to sell your offers. So you build from there. And use templates. Templates can make it so much easier, because without them, you end up either not posting at all or defaulting to whatever is easiest to at the moment, which is usually not the thing that leads to sales. So a Mythbuster works in stories just like it does in your feed. An announcement, a student win, a quick tip, a direct page, all of these translate. The format is different, but the thinking is the same. So that's the structure. 3 feed posts a week, each with a clear call to action, rotating through formats that actually connect and convert. Plus a few story sequences a week that are specifically designed to make your offer visible to the people who already follow you. It's not complicated, but it does require consistency. And it does require that every single piece of content adds with an actual invitation, right? So, and this is exactly what I give you inside the Instagram sales kit for yoga teachers. So it's $37 right now, and it's a complete, ready to use kit for yoga teachers who want to start making consistent sales through Instagram without feeling pushy, without needing a big following, and without spending hours staring at a blank screen wondering what to post. Inside, you get the carousel and wheel templates, the AI prompt, the Instagram story templates, like what to put on each slide, and you can easily adapt that for your business and for your content. A 30-day Instagram planner, and so much more. I even added Instagram deep dive training that I hosted inside my membership as a bonus, which is so great. It talks about what changed on Instagram, what's working today. We look at like real students' Instagram feeds. I give feedback. So that's a bonus you get as well. And you can like work your way through the whole thing in an afternoon and then start posting the same day and use the templates continuously, like moving forward. If you've built an offer that you believe in and Instagram just isn't converting it, you're not getting any sales from Instagram, this is exactly where I'd start. You find the link in the show notes or go to my website, susannereiker.com/sales kit, and you get instant access if you purchase it. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here, and I talk to you soon. Bye for now.